Hi, Sean Huxter here from Huxter Labs. I am a toy designer, I am a game developer, I am a writer, I am a cartoonist, I am a coder for my own personal games, text adventures, games for the Commodore 64. I have done many things, and I love doing things. One of my mottos is put something out there. That means put something out into the world that was never there before. I took that line a bit from Shel Silverstein, but I took it to heart and I do it. In 2013, I bought my first 3D printer and immediately started making toys for G.I. Joe Adventure Team because that was my interest at the time, and it still is. I love the G.I. Joe Adventure Team. I grew up with them. I had 4 G.I. Joe Adventure Team toys, figures, and then my cousin, who had spent some time in Africa, brought back 7 more. Pre-Adventure Team G.I. Joes. So I had 11 G.I. Joes as a kid. And of course, those G.I. Joes got incorporated into my Adventure Team pretty quickly. Over time, I always wanted to make Adventure Team toys. When the first 3D printers became available, I started thinking about what I could do with them. And when they really became kind of like affordable and actually practical, I bought my first Affinia H479. I used it to make some toys. I used it to make some practical products. I entered a competition. I won the competition. I won a second printer of the same type. And from there on, I just started making toys. I started working with Cotswold Collectibles. And together, over like 12 years now, we have made some amazing things. What I consider amazing. I think I've made some really cool Adventure Team toys, and I sell them through their site. I sell occasionally on my own, but mostly I don't want to deal with the selling part. I leave that up to Cotswold Collectibles, and so I make them for them. They do the distribution, but I get to make the toys, I get to prototype the toys, and I work with Greg Brown as the now owner of Cotswold Collectibles. He and I get together to make some really cool projects. A while ago, he came to me and said, I want to make a device called the MacGuffin device for a set. And my brain immediately started working. He didn't have to say what it was. He didn't have to say anything. All I did was I sat down with a sketch pad and some ideas, and I found these on Amazon, and I've had these for decades. I really have had this for a long time. These are like Samsonite-like briefcases. And they come with the handle moves. The locks actually work. And these are business card holders. And you can get them, you get these for about $8 or $9 on Amazon. You can get them in different colors. I've had silver, I've had black, I've had gold. I think I've even had like a rose gold. They come in all sorts of different colors. But the point is, they are aluminum, they're well constructed. And I thought, what could go in here? And I did a video a while ago of this done in FDM print with ABS plastic on a filament printer. And yeah, it was fine. But this spring, I bought a resin printer. Now, I had one before, but it wasn't very good. This spring, I bought an Elegoo Saturn 4 Ultra, and the thing is a miracle worker. Now, I'm going to walk through this toy, and I designed most of this before I had the resin printer, but knowing that eventually I could do better. But there's more in here than just 3D printed parts. Well, let's just walk through it, shall we? So if you go back through my videos way back, like 200 ago, you may see the original prototype of this. Now we're going to reveal what this has become. So this is the MacGuffin device. And it's a briefcase, and it's kind of like a spy device. The idea is you make your own adventure with these things. You come up with the purpose, you come up with the plan, you come up with the scenario and the story, but here's what we got inside. Ready? This is the MacGuffin device. Now, clearly, I don't know how clearly it is actually, but once I raise this, you will see that this is very much loosely based on the Van de Kamp device from, the Voight Kamp device from Blade Runner. Only because this visor comes up. I kind of modeled this a little bit after the visor from the Voight Kamp machine. But this is designed with an aluminum rod here, aluminum tube, And there's a nail in here that goes into the aluminum tube and allows this to spin around, and you can put it in any angle you like. And it stows back into the device just by laying it flat, and it places here. Underneath is my logo. There's Huxter Labs. What else does this do? What is it besides just this little thing that flips up? Well, let me show you. Right in the middle, there's the main screen. Let me zoom in a little bit. Get a good, there we go. Focus now. So this is the main screen with a little slider here for control. You've got these controls here. And this pops up into a screen. So clearly this is a workstation. This is, I love this because this is not just a keyboard. This is the keyboard of the original Commodore PET. Before they went to full keyboard, this is what the keyboard looked like. So this is an homage and a bit of an Easter egg to Commodore PET. Then you've got this dial here, which pops up. Right? So you've got that. And then what I think is the really cool thing of this is this right here. And this is a drive. This is a disk drive. It pops up like so. And then it is used to read circuit cards. The circuit cards are in this little pouch. These are cut on a Cricut, which is a desktop cutter. I designed these patterns. And these patterns are, first of all, etched onto plastic, onto clear plastic. So you can see these circuit boards. There's total circuits on here. And my logo's in the middle, part of the circuit. And each one is different. Each one has a unique circuit. No two are alike. And there should be 6 of these, or 5. I think there should be, maybe there are 5 of these. So there's green, there's red, there's blue, orange, and yellow. And these are designed to fit into the disk drive or the circuit drive. You place these in so. And then you can have an adventure with coding or whatever. This gauge obviously doesn't move, but it can be whatever you want it to be. This is an open-end toy. You get to make up your mind as to what this is. So one of the things is, yeah, you've got this little pouch, and I designed this little pouch with the Huxter Logo Labs and Huxter Labs circuit chips. Huxter Labs. And these all fit into here nicely. But I also left a slot in front of the screen so that these can also, as a group or individually, fit. Let me just get these together here so they're all facing the same direction. They don't have to. They can be that way. So one can be the drive, but these can actually fit into this little slot in front of the keyboard, between the keyboard and the monitor. And that's just for storage. But here's where the device that reads the thing. So you can pop a slot in and pop it right back down while it reads. And here are some indicator knobs and dials. And this is obviously a viewer of some sort. Again, you make up your mind. What is this to you? Then inside, we also have this little envelope, which is printed on my and cut on my Cricut desktop printer. And this is based on an actual evidence envelope. It's got holes here, which indicate like whether or not it's got things inside. These holes on these envelopes are designed to show whether or not they're empty or full. And then they have these little signature tabs for whoever checked out the evidence last. And to maintain chain of evidence, there are signatures on here. And when you open this up, there's evidence in here. What I've created is a fingerprint card and several Polaroid photographs of Huxter Labs inventions. Again, you get to decide what the problem is or what the adventure is. I think there might be one more in there. There it is. There it is there. And that's my G.I. Joe Helijet. So these are, I mean, they could be leaked plans from Huxter Labs. But whatever it is, they might even be plans from Huxter Labs that haven't been leaked, but they're just in evidence. Then what we have is a file folder, which is, the funny thing is, these envelopes are actually cut from actual envelopes. These are actual manila envelopes cut with my Cricut and printed. Printed first, then cut. These are actually cut from an actual file folder. So this is actual file folder material. And then you get this little label here, which is slightly askew because I want it to look like somebody put it on there rather rapidly. In here we have a map. Oops, upside down. We have a map of the island. How mysterious can you get? So this is the island. Clearly there's a landing strip there. There's a helipad. You've got beach and cliff and grass and mountain and then structure. And so this is a map of some sort of mysterious area. Then you've got these blueprints. These blueprints are Huxter Labs inventions. And perhaps, you know, you're investigating the theft of the, maybe you're investigating industrial theft. And here's a couple of blueprints. These are actual miniatures of blueprints I actually create for real toys that I make for Cotswold Collectibles. And for myself, obviously. And so that's in the file folder. Close that up, take the evidence, put it back away. You can take the folder and just leave it if you like. And we can leave the actual circuit cards here if you want. These all slot right back in here. This, all of this, including the slot back here, is all part of that business card holder that you can buy on Amazon. Or anywhere really, I guess. You can get these in all sorts of materials. Like I even have a few that are made of leather. There's one that even looks like snakeskin, but the interior is basically the same and would be compatible. So I am planning on selling this prototype. This is the first prototype done in resin. So this is printed in resin on my Elegoo Saturn 4 Ultra. Now, most of my previous toys are printed in a different sort of system using filament, and I've been using those for many years. The problem, of course, with resin is I can't print year-round because I don't have a heated garage. I have to print in my garage, and it's not heated, so I can only print for a small window of the year, maybe half the year, maybe a little longer. So this is going to be very limited supply per year. I may make more. I also may sell this as a kit, but first I'm going to sell this as a prototype, and just to see what people's interest is in this toy. Obviously, it's made to fit a 1/6 scale G.I. Joe or any action figure that's 1/6 scale. These fold down and click in place. And I just wanted to show this. I don't quite know where this is going as a project, but I am going to pursue it. I'm seriously thinking about selling all the parts as a kit. There's about what? Let me just check. Let me go through this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 resin printed 3D parts, and they're easily printed. It would require an aluminum rod, which I would include, plus there are some nails, one of which is here to allow this to rotate. One allows this to rotate, so that's 2 nails. And these are panel nails. There's a nail in here as the hinge pin for the drive, so that's 3. One here. No, this actually is not. This is actually hinged by itself. This is printed as hinge. So I think it's 4 nails to make all these things work. All of this would be included in the kit. The only thing is you would have to paint it and you would have to apply the stickers, which I would include. But that way you get to color this the way you want. I particularly like these colors, but you don't have to. You can pick the colors you like. You can make this black or silver, whatever you want. This could be green or blue. It doesn't matter. But I am planning to sell this as a limited run kit, maybe 6 to 10 pieces. So please stay tuned to see where that goes. But for tonight, this is Sean Huxter. This has been Huxter Labs. And I was very excited to show you my new project. I say new. This has been going for about at least 9 months. Just that now that I've gotten my resin printer, it's really finished now. This is now a finished product and I'm ready to let people have at it. So for Sean Huxter at Huxter Labs, I'll say goodnight. See you soon. Bye-bye.